It's time for another few minutes of design, this time extended family.
TipTut.
Hello everybody and welcome back to TipTut and welcome to another episode of A Few Minutes of Design. This time around in this quick little series we're taking a look at the extended family card. Look at the family of symbols on the other side of this card. How have the pictures been simplified to make symbols? Are they made of solid shapes or lines? What visual features does each one use and what makes them a family? Draw your own symbols to continue the series, keeping the same visual language of simplification, line, shape and style as the original members. Now draw a symbol that does not belong to that family. Done one of these before, it was quite fun last time. This time it looks like it's kind of an iconography thing, maybe used in traffic signs or other situations like that. I'm just going to bring up a pencil here in white and quickly sketch out the two ones that we've already got here. Now the idea is to draw more symbols in this series that follow the same style, and as you can see it's asking us to draw a ship, some roller skates, a hot air balloon, some spaceship and a plane. So we'll just get the card drawn here just to get into the flow of the thing and give us a little bit of a visual reference on the screen as to what these symbols might look like. Now obviously these are done in a sketching style, but the actual finished thing would be with clean lines as it's shown in the original. And there we have the car, so that'll do. Let's take a look at the ship first. So what are the defining features of this icon set then? It looks like it's this mono-thickness lines. It's curved and rounded edges. It's a representation rather than an accurate description, and it seems to be both head-on as well. So if we were to do a ship, for example, it could be something like rounded corners on these tips here, like so, coming into the top, another rounded corner there. To indicate a ship properly, and another thing is there's no brakes here. These tracks are separate, however. So if you wanted to, you could separate like a chimney stack from this ship. You just get rid of that for now. Separate the chimney stack with the smoke coming out of it. Some little indications of windows or something might be useful too. And there's no sort of lines that cut through. There's only brakes. So if you wanted to indicate the bow of the ship here with like a vertical line, then you'd have to make sure that it actually goes into two different shapes, like so, as opposed to just drawing that center line. That, however, does make it look less like a ship. So if it was me, I would just have a joint bow section here with a curved waved line at the bottom to indicate the ocean. A pair of roller skates would be head on. It's going to be a bit of a weird one to do, but probably would be something like the bottom of a shoe with the indication of a wheel being separate. Yeah. Let's not color that in because we're not going to color in any of the others. Like so. And then again, if you needed these to be separate shapes, you'd be out of luck because they need to be a single shape. So maybe what you'd have is a boot like this, and then some laces. Of course, that would have to be a single removed hole. And then you could take that boot and copy and paste it and put it next to each other. And you got some roller skates, which is quite nice. Hot air balloon as well. That one's quite simple. That would just be like a teardrop shape, singular. You might cut out the center section to indicate like the different colors. But again, of course, they'd have to be connected because you couldn't break that apart. You might have two small lines to indicate the strings and then just a simple square for the basket. Yeah. A spaceship. That to me is just screaming the classic UFO style. You could have a circle cut out to indicate the shine. Curved corners. And again, making sure it's a separate shape. Like so. You might want some small cylindrical cutouts as well. Indicate that. And then the famous tractor beam on the bottom. And finally, a plane. That one seems simple at heart, but probably quite difficult to get all the shapes across. Namely the jet engines being the most difficult thing. For example, you have the wings. You'd need large jet engine attachments that could only be a single shape. So it might be a case of having your wings as a single solid object. Something like that. Maybe it could be a prop plane. You might have an indication of a point as well. It says now the final thing was to draw a symbol that does not belong to that family. So for example, you can see here these are categorized by their rounded corners. They're categorized by their single shapes, but with the breakaway elements. Yeah. If there is a separate element like this spaceship element, then it's its own contained item. It's not like joined by a single line to anything else. Yeah, that would have to be like that. So you could create a unique one in a number of ways. Let's take the ship as an example. You could have the bow of the ship. I'm pretty sure that's the right word. I don't know though. Cutting through the waves, and you could indicate with some separate lines, which is already breaking away, that it's in the waves. Yeah. Something like that. Because there are no separate lines on these other diagrams. You could split the bow to indicate if you're looking top down, that would be like the front bit, like that. And you could just connect others as well. You could add joint elements with detail lines, such as indications of glass. And on the chimney stack, you could add some smoke that doesn't end. And that would be different, as you can tell at a glance. It's different style to the other collections. That's quite a good one. I like that. Extended family. Awesome. Looks like that is all for this time around. A nice short one. Up next, we'll be looking at another episode, fictional objects. So I'll see you next time for some of that. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. And I'll see you next time on TipTut.
Remember to subscribe for more tips, tricks, and tutorials. Thanks for watching.